Okay. So I wasn't expecting to go live today. I didn't get all ready. If you can't tell, I just kind of woke up in the morning and my phone. Oh my! I can't even catch my breath. My phone blew up this morning. Absolutely blew up this morning. It was a little wild. I'm not gonna lie, and I was a little nervous for many reasons. The number one reason being that Lucien Favre is fired. It happened, and it took me by surprise because, I did my little rant video yesterday, as you guys probably, some of you would have seen, but I wasn't expecting Borussia Dortmund to honestly take the action that they did. I think it's the right decision, and I don't really know where to begin. So I'm just going to try to touch a little bit on Favre. I am going to be looking at the comments in this stream because, we're a community here, and this is pretty big news. This is pretty big news. So the first thing I want to talk about today is Lucien Favre, because I don't want to completely disrespect the man, because I do think he's done some wonderful things here at Dortmund. The first season, like I said, was a great season. He almost won us the title. He brought a little bit of hope back. He played a lot of fun football. But then he got the transfers he wanted for the second season, and it just kind of went away. And our season that we probably should have been competing with the squad that we had, we really didn't. Now we're on to this third season, and I just didn't see it in Dortmund to do it. I really didn't. I didn't think that they were going to come down and be like, all right, we got embarrassed 5-1 at home against promotion newbie Stuttgart. It's time. It's time to take initiative and sack Favre, and that's exactly what happened. So that honestly blew my mind. I honestly wasn't expecting it. I thought my rant would have just kind of went over. Favre would have got a couple more shots, won a couple games, and we would have been looking at it. So the big issue with the Favre situation, and obviously with COVID, we have financial situations. And by firing a manager early like Lucien Favre, we have to pay him out for the rest of his contract. It's only a year, so it's not a big deal. It's not like when you see like Jose Mourinho and some of the other managers on 3-4 year deals, and they have a pathetic attempt at a season in the middle of that, and then you got to pay a crazy amount of money. I don't know the exact figures, so don't quote me on it of exactly how much money we're gonna have to pay Favre, but this is what I do know. So I woke up this morning, and the first article I read was the one that I have on screen with you guys. I will read it for you guys, and then I'll give you my opinions and kind of dive into some of the comments. So it says, Borussia Dortmund sack Lucien Favre. Borussia Dortmund has dismissed head coach Favre following the 5-1 defeat against Stuttgart. The Bundesliga side are now 3 wins in the league in a row and have fallen without a win and have fallen to 5th, 5 points behind leaders Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig. After BVB's defeat Saturday, Favre labeled the performance catastrophic. It was catastrophic. Too many big mistakes. Very bad. It's unacceptable. Sport 1 journalist Patrick Berger reported on Saturday evening that Borussia Dortmund CEO left the Westfalen after 2.5-hour meetings with sporting director Zorc, as well as Kramer also left later on. Favre took charge from Tuchel in 2018, and obviously after Tuchel's interesting dismissal as well. And the 63-year-old Swiss tactician led Borussia Dortmund to 68 wins, 17 draws, 25 defeats, his side scoring 245 goals and conceding 139 in the process. So, if you look at his record, it's a relatively decent record over the years that he's been here. But the one big kicker, and I was just dying to know who was going to replace it, because I went on a tangent about how I believe Max Allegri is the main man. And then everyone who was reaching out to me on Instagram and Twitter was talking about Edin Terzić, who would be the man to come in on an interim basis. Now, from what I know about Terzić is that he started his footballing managerial type career at Borussia Dortmund, where he was a scout. He then went on to be the assistant manager at the U19s, as well as the assistant manager with our second team. And then he took a job as the assistant manager for Borussia Dortmund's U17 team. Then he was the actual manager for the U16 team. And he was then with Slaven Bilic, the assistant manager at Besiktas, as well as West Ham. So he does have a decent amount of experience for only being 38 years old. And he's now expected, obviously, to be the main man behind Borussia Dortmund as he's the assistant manager there. So that is what I know so far. And now I'm just going to start diving into the comments, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have a lot of questions for me. So let's just kind of get them up on the board. Pain Army's with us today, and he says, yes, finally. And I know that there's going to be some interesting conversation in the chat today. I am looking forward to it, but I in no way, shape, or form want to show any disrespect to Lucien Favre. I do rate him as a manager. I think he has done some good stuff for us, but I think the time has come. It was too inconsistent of performance. Our defensive woes were honestly, looks like unfixable from time to time. He got his tactics wrong. He got his formation wrong. And there's just no urgency in watching this club play this season. And I'm not putting that entirely on Favre. The players need to take a little bit of responsibility too, but everyone's using this example. And it's a perfect example. The way that obviously Bayern Munich got smacked against Frankfurt 5-1. They made the initiative. They made the decision. It's a hard decision to sack Kovac, and they went on to, win the Champions League and whatnot. So personally, I'm surprised and a little bit impressed that we made the decision. And now we're going to dive into what you guys think about this. So I just hope that we have the right replacement. And that is honestly a perfect question, because as many people as we've been talking about saying that Edin Terzić is for sure going to be coming in as the interim manager for the rest of the season, it's not 100% official. A few people have been sending me articles and quotes that there's still opportunity that it could be someone else. It could be Allegri. It could be Pochettino. So I'm not fully sure who exactly it's going to be. But Tim Gaming says he hoped it's the same. Kevin says that's the same team, the scoreline that fired Kovac. We are going to do it on the interim coach at least until the winter break. And yeah, I mean, that is a potential. I mean, if you look at what Flick did for Bayern coming up through obviously Bayern Munich and obviously having the success and being an assistant manager out for Germany, winning the World Cup, looking at Terzić, and I'm going to just bring up his profile here. He does have some decent experience. So I was a little skeptical when I first took a look at him, but considering that he has experience in the club with Borussia Dortmund, I really like. So obviously having that connection of the club, that little bit of passion, he's had several different roles right through pretty much the ranks in Borussia Dortmund. So I really do like that aspect, as well as some actual worldwide kind of assistant manager positions with Besiktas and obviously West Ham. And now he's obviously back with the club where he kind of began. So I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say about that. Because I honestly, I would have liked to see the announcement of like a Pochettino and a Allegri. But I mean, you never know. Look at Hansi Flick. He came in not expecting to do the job that he did. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I kind of like some of these surprises. Yeah, Sancho FLO7. I mean, he could be a possibility, but I don't think that they're going to promote him just because of the amazing job he's doing in the second division. But maybe in January, like you said. I mean, I'm honestly not sure even what to think. When is it starting? Oh, the stream. My bad. It's starting now. Yes, finally. No. So it's someone who is not impressed with the sacking. And let me know if you guys, if you guys agree with it. If you don't, I personally, after a result like that, you almost have to think that it's time to make a change. And I just didn't know if our board was going to do it or not. And I'm surprisingly impressed that he is. So, I mean, I'm for it, but with no disrespect to Favre, and I'm excited to see kind of what is going to happen in the near future here. He's gone. I was waiting for the video. BVB fans forget that he's just a human being. And that's why I'm trying to show him no disrespect, because I do think Favre has done some good things over the seasons with us. I honestly do. But I think, I mean, guys, come on. We lost 5-1 to Stuttgart at home. Our performances this season have not been up to par. I'm not putting that totally on Favre. I do believe some of the players need to take responsibility, but nothing has been working. The games that we've won, we've barely won, and unconvincingly. So something has got to change here. We got the talent to do so. I watched your video, bro. It worked. Yeah, I mean, I did go for a little rant yesterday, so there's no getting away from that. I was pro getting rid of Favre, but it's just because I think that's the step we needed to make. I'm surprised too, and I was surprised. Dan says bring in Allegri, and I want you to understand that the reason I want Favre to come or leave and Allegri to come in is because he's a defensive-oriented coach, and I'm hoping he could take that defense and do something with it. having a manager like Edin Terzić I'm a little skeptical about it, mainly because he's young. He doesn't have a crazy amount of experience, but it's hard for me to get very negative on it because he obviously could replicate Flick. I mean, he's 38 years old. He's got a Croatia and Germany citizenship. And it's going to be very interesting to see what he can do. So, I mean, it's not official yet. So if you guys hear any kind of news, do let me know, because this is very breaking. I just seriously woke up in the morning, ran out of bed, and had to get this up and going for you guys. So Sancho said he can understand it. Josh, this was all down to you less than 24 hours after you joined Favre out. Yeah, I don't think it had anything, honestly, to do with me, but I don't know. I was so on board for having Favre stay and see out the season because of the contract, because of the financial situation. It just made the most sense, and we were getting some results. But yeah, the three in a row in the league is a huge red flag, as well as that performance against Stuttgart. You can't really get away from it. So I had to make the jump. But Catalina's here, and she's already reached out to me on Twitter. She's someone who obviously is she's a real Borussia Dortmund girl. That's the way we got to put it. She's very positive. She's always good to talk to, and she has reiterated to me and to obviously the fans that she wants to see Favre being treated well, because he did bring some good times. If you guys think back to that season where we finished 4th place, we had the sacking of Peter Bosch. That was a painful season to watch. But in all honesty, this season kind of looks like it's replicating it. But Favre came in the next season and gave us, honestly, something to be exciting about. And he brought the likes of Haaland to the club, as well as obviously turning Sancho to the player he is today. But it's one of those things. His time came to an end. But Catalina says, hey, Josh, I'm glad that you were back up this morning. Also, Dortmund's Terzić is only served as an interim head coach for 1 season, and he does not want the Dortmund job. So I didn't read that he didn't want the Dortmund job. So that's interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see the way this plays out, to see if he gets any types of results, what kind of formation he goes with. I honestly don't know, but usually assistant managers in the way of like Arteta, for example. Arteta obviously shadowed Guardiola for a few seasons, and he started implementing a little bit of what Pep did over at Arsenal. So I'm going to have to look back into Slaven Bilic and his reigns at West Ham and at Besiktas, because it wouldn't surprise me if Terzić kind of replicated what Bilic did. And I believe that West Ham squad played in a 4-2-3-1 and sometimes a 4-1-4-1. So Terzić is the ex-co-trainer of Favre, is the new one. Yep, I heard that as well. We can get Pochettino in. Well, I mean, honestly, if it was up to me, I would take Pochettino and Allegri right now, right this second, done deal. But it doesn't look like that from what I'm reading. It looks like Terzić's going to come in on an intern basis, finish out the season, and then we'll approach somebody in the summertime. That makes a little bit more sense as well, because that gives us the option to target Marco Rose, Jesse Marsch, and honestly, potentially Nagelsmann. Not that he's a real realistic one. I don't think he wants to leave Leipzig, but that could be the case. Terzić could be good, though. And I'm excited, and that's what I'm excited for. I like seeing some of the stories where some managers come in here and do a job, and do a job that they're not expected to do. Hansi Flick is the definition. We are in the exact same boat that Bayern Munich is. And if you look on the positive side of things, and I know I was in a real negative state of mind after the game yesterday, but we are only in 5th. Yes, we may not compete in the Bundesliga. That may have already slipped a slide. We don't know. Maybe we go on a run and we turn it completely around. But we still have the Cup. We still have the Champions League. And now hopefully we got a fresh injection of a manager who can hopefully help turn this team around. I really don't know what's going to happen with him, but I am excited that it's someone who I'm not totally familiar with, and it's going to be interesting to see the way that he does. Allegri, you got this. And I would like to see Allegri. I really would. But from what I'm reading, it doesn't look like that is going to be it. Marco Rose would be the option at the end of the season if we take Terzić for obviously the rest of the year, and then we would probably look for Marco Rose, who right now, if that's the route we're going, and we are deciding to go with Terzić for the remainder of this season, I personally believe Marco Rose will be the manager starting next season, because we're looking to obviously kill the rest of the season with an interim manager, and then we can approach a manager who's currently got a job, which would either be Marco Rose or Jesse Marsch. I don't want a big name trainer in Dortmund. Well, and that's interesting to see what each perspective is. For me, the reason is not that, like, Allegri is a big name, but the main reason I wanted Allegri was because of his defensive tactics, and that he's obviously solidified that Juve team over the seasons, and I've just been very impressed with what they've done. But maybe it's good to have just someone fresh, someone new. I don't really know what the right answer totally is, but I do like the fact that Terzić's got the German in him. He's been around the block with Borussia Dortmund. Like, look at all the different Borussia Dortmund levels that he's trained, as well as, again, that experience. Like, Flick's been with the German national team. He went out to Besiktas and West Ham and has obviously been with Borussia Dortmund for some time now. So that makes it a little bit more interesting. Time for Dortmund to host coaching auditions. We must find out who's fit for the role and reform the team. Only Royce, Piszczek, Emery, and Big Mats is our team leaders in the BVP team council. Yeah, I mean, again, I can't wait to see how this develops and what's going to happen here. But Thomas says after your meltdown yesterday, he got the boot. Yeah, you ever seen a Canadian rant? That's kind of what it looks like. It's a little bit of confusion, a little bit of depression, but apparently they listened to me, and I haven't ranted about him once, but it wasn't, guys, it wasn't because of me. It was because, honestly, it was the right decision to make, and I'm genuinely surprised, but I'm very curious now to see what's going to happen. I don't like to see managers change mid-season. I never did. I didn't like the Peter Bosz situation. I wish we could resolve that, and then we brought in Stoger, who, yes, he got us back up to 4th, but I mean, we had some ugly losses in there, some poor performances. It was honestly, it was frustrating, and now it's just like a stopgap. So now we got to really wait to see what's going to happen. But that stopgap is the one who actually led us to getting, obviously, Tuchel, who would drastically turn it around, because Tuchel was our target. So I'm assuming the board has a target in mind, whether that be Rose, Marsh. I mean, it could be Nagelsmann. More than likely, it's not. But if we're not going for Pochettino and Allegri right now, that means we're probably not going for them, period. That means it's probably going to be Jesse Marsh or Marco Rose. So we do need a stopgap. So then I agree with Sancho, FLO7, Sancho Flo, I'm not sure how to fully pronounce that, but Sancho Flo7 says he didn't want a big name trainer. And maybe as a stopgap, it's smarter not to have a big name trainer. And like I said, I like the fact that he's been around the club for so long, and I'm very curious to see what happens there. Bitzel and Delaney are leaders too. Yes, they absolutely are. We are BBB fans going to sit here and go to war with each other, or are we going to cheer on our boys, continue fighting for freedom in the Bundesliga? We're going to cheer on the boys. 100% we are. But we need to address some of the situations that are obviously happening. And the Lucien Favre one was one for a while. I mean, no one has really been behind Favre this season. I know the Dortmund fans can be passionate, can be angry from time to time, but 100% it was time to go. And I think the board made the right decision. Hopefully you guys have some fond memories of Favre. I definitely did. Watching them play last season with Hakimi and Guerrero was a lot of fun, as well as obviously the 18-19 season where he almost won the league. Our friend there is excited. I know how it feels. Congrats, LOL. We Barca have been fighting through it a lot. And that's what I'm talking about the stopgap coaches. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he replicates Hansi Flick. Maybe we offer him the full-time job. This is his real, from what I can see from his coaching record, this is his first big opportunity to manage a club. And it's a club of Borussia Dortmund's. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. I like a lot of little things about him. I don't know an awful lot about him right now, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does there. Steve says, is he out? Yes, he is. He was sacked this morning after a lengthy debate with obviously some of the hierarchy in our club. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. We got Edin Terzić, who's going to take over the club for the rest of the season, at least what it looks like right now. We got some of his stats on the board of where he's been in his managerial career. He's worked with Slaven Bilic. A lot of you guys may be familiar with him through his days at West Ham. But I think that's pretty interesting, and he's obviously had some experience with Borussia Dortmund. Lele says he wants to see either Poch or Marsh. And I think Jesse Marsh and Marco Rose, again, I'm going to say it again for you guys who are just joining, but Marco Rose and Jesse Marsh, in my opinion, right now are the favorites, and they will be more than likely one of them will manage the club next season, and Terzić will manage the club for the rest of the season. If this Terzić thing isn't 100% legitimate, then that means more than likely we could target Pochettino and Allegri. But if we don't go for those two right now who are available, I don't believe we're going to go for them at all. And I was told that there was rumors as well that at least Allegri has rejected the BVB job in the past. I don't know if we came at him again with another approach. Maybe he'd reconsider. But for right now, it's looking like Terzic's going to be the man going forward. Steve's excited. Hello, Barca. Greetings from Sweden. Greetings, my friend. Oli in. No. I still can't believe that Favre is out. I can't believe that he's out either. I honestly can't. I didn't think they'd pull the trigger like that. It's honestly kind of exciting to see the way that it's going to happen. Nothing against Lucien Favre. It's just his time has come. I want to see this replication of what happened to Bayern. I mean, it's a stretch, but I think it's just unfortunately for managers who get sacked, that's what has to happen. When a club isn't playing, when you lose at home 5-1 to Stuttgart and you're already having a poor season, sometimes that's the nail in the coffin. You can't just throw the players out. You have to make a decision, and that decision 9 times out of 10 comes down to the manager, and that's why Lucien Favre's staying here has come to an end. Imagine Edin Terzić turn the team into something like Flick. That's what every Dortmund fan here is absolutely hoping for. 100%. That is what we got to look at. And he wasn't the first person to come to mind. And if anyone out there it was, let me know. But I didn't wake up this morning being like, Edin Terzić was the one who's going to be taking over the job. I didn't expect this, but when I was last season watching Kovac get fired, I didn't think, Hansi Flick, that's the guy who's going to turn this team into a Champions League winning club. Not at all. Not at all. So that's the beautiful thing about what's happening here. And I'm very curious and excited to watch the game on Tuesday against Bremen. You guys need to join me for that watch long. It's going to be one to really, really focus on, and I'm going to be excited for that. Dan says that Favre is a great man, but it is good news for the club. Well said. And I'm trying to be as respectful as I can because I do like Favre. I think he had one great season, two decent seasons at the club, but this just wasn't good enough. And looking at what Bayern did, this is what we want. We want the opportunity to make a difference, and hopefully Terzić's got something up his sleeve that we don't know about. Steve says Nagelsmann, Rose, Marsch, Pochettino, Allegri, Kovac, Rangnick, and Sousa. So I can tell you right now, Steve, just on my personal opinion, I believe Nagelsmann will be a no, just because I don't think Leipzig want to let him go. They just signed Strubelside. They're giving him kind of the weapons he wants, and I just don't see him leaving for Dortmund. I honestly don't, especially knowing now he's a Bayern fan. I think he'll hold on to that Leipzig job for as long as he possibly can, and then we'll maybe look to go to Bayern. I don't believe that Rangnick is going to be a possibility. He likes having too much control over what happens at a club, and we're just not willing to probably do that. Sosa as well, I don't think is a possibility, and Kovac as well. I don't personally want Kovac, and I think he's actually enjoying his time at Monaco. And I don't see him fitting. But your other three there, or your other four there, absolutely. If this Terzić thing is a rumor, Pochettino and Allegri are the most legitimate managers to come in right now on a long-term deal and try to take over the reins. If they don't come in right now, though, I believe they won't come in at all, and we'll ride out Edin Terzić for the end of the season, and then Rose and Jesse Marsch are two number one targets. 100% is what I believe. Let me know, though, if you guys agree with any of Steve's one. There's nothing wrong with Nagelsmann or Rangnick. I don't feel that they are going to be actual targets. The board doesn't want Poch because he doesn't speak German and he has a very large Spanish-speaking backroom staff. That's a good point as well. I did read a couple of issues of why Pochettino wasn't a legitimate argument there, but that is some of the things that. What do you guys think right now? And not talking about the rest of the season, but going forward for a long-term manager. We've been stuck on the ways of a German-speaking manager, which is why I think that Marco Rose is the most likely because of that. Jesse Marsch is obviously American. There is a lot of Americans obviously coming over to the Bundesliga and that connection there. But I think Borussia Dortmund's main target right now is Marco Rose starting next season from Gladbach. We are used to taking their players. Why not? And even their managers. So it's kind of looking like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But that is an excellent point. And I didn't honestly think of that, but I know that is an issue with why Poch wouldn't be selected. And even Allegri. Allegri is obviously Italian and doesn't quite fit the mold, which is the nice thing about Terzić. And that's why I mentioned, I'm going to scroll up here, that his citizenship. He obviously speaks German. He was born in Germany, and he's got the Croatian background in him as well. He's had experience at our club, which is, I think, absolutely huge. And he's been through the ranks. It's pretty cool to see. And just that extra experience. I like Slaven Bilic. I think Slaven Bilic is a solid manager. So knowing that he's learned from him and been able to do some of that stuff is interesting as well. I'm a Barca fan, and our only chance is to get the quarterfinals if we play Dortmund. Well, yeah, I mean, Barca has had an interesting season this season as well, as Dortmund obviously has too. So it'll be very cool to see if those two line up. I put a poll out there, and some people want to see the Barca lineup, but yeah, that'll be two struggling giants going at each other for sure. Thank the Lord. Yes. I know, but luckily we must also find and be patient and do not worry. And yeah, guys, I am kind of excited. I didn't think I'd wake up this morning and be like, Edin Terzić, fire me up, slap me awake. But that's kind of what happened, because I don't know what the right interim manager would have been. Looking at his credentials, looking at the fact that he speaks German, where he's been, I kind of rate it. So I am kind of excited, and I want to see what kind of formation he goes in. So if you guys know anything about it or remember Slaven Bilic's reigns, give me a couple formations you think the club may go with. Marco Rose for 2021. I am 100% backing you there. What do you think about Terzić? I think that for an interim manager, he's looking like the right kind of fit. The fact that he speaks German, that he's been in the club right through the ranks, and that he's even got some international experience with West Ham and Besiktas. I rate it for right now. He's a young manager. I don't like what Catalina said about, and I don't know, Catalina, if you want to let me know where you read this, that he doesn't want the job full time, because that just, I don't know, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, just because it's like, if you take this team to a new level, why not carry it out? Why not stick with Borussia Dortmund like Hansi Flick did? So I don't know how legitimate that was. Catalina brought it up to me, but I hope he wants the full job. I hope he's able to potentially turn this team around and become the next Hansi Flick. But if he's not that interested in the full-time job, I don't know, that's kind of rubs me the wrong way, even though I do believe Marco Rose is our guy to go for in the end of the season. Hey, man, what's going on, my friend? We got a Croatian manager now, so I think you may like that. I can't remember if you're Serbian or Croatia, so if I got it wrong, I am very sorry. Yes, the time has come. We got some excited fans here. We Barca fans love Dortmund. Well, perfectly, my friend, perfectly. Come join it. I mean, I think I've told you this. I actually, when I went backpacking in Europe, I went to watch Dortmund play live and Barca play live. So there we go. We got a little connection here on the channel. You're always welcome here. Pain Army says you have no chance. Barca is trash. Well, Pain Army, they have Messi though. But yes, I do actually think that we would be favorites if we played them. But Barca has Messi, and both teams are kind of hit or miss this season. So I think that can honestly go either way. Where are we? Got a lot of comments here. Trying to get through them as quick as I can. I wasn't expecting this. Holy. Wow. There was a lot of comments. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to fly through them a little quicker. I don't think we need a star trainer. Fair point. I know they want a German-speaking manager, but imagine. Lele, yeah. And that's why I think Poch and Allegri may not get it. We want Terzić or Mazan, yeah. And again, I think with Enrico, he's going to be sticking with the second club for now. Maybe in the future, his time will come. Yeah, we did not lose 5-1 at home to a newly promoted team. The Barca trips come back in. We just need someone who can give us hope and a solid defense. The defense is the biggest thing with us, 100%. And I don't know enough about Terzić to be like, yes, he's going to come in and solidify that back. That's why I was preaching for Allegri. But with the German-speaking issue, I don't agree that it's probably going to happen. Predictions versus Levante, 2-0 Barca. Favre needed to go, but will always be thankful for the 3-2 Bayern in his first season. Well said. Nice little memory down memory lane of an excellent game and that Marco Reus finish. Gotta love it. So yes, very nice. We got our Stuttgart friends here who says Stuttgart's better than Dortmund. We're gonna roll by that. Rose is not strong enough for the Dortmund job. We need someone who is serious, strong, and does not play childish game like the state of Johan Cruyff did. Well, I wouldn't say that. I think Rose, if we're going to be so strict on a German manager, Rose is pretty much the only option right now, because I don't think we can get Nagelsmann. So if Dortmund's willing to bring in a manager who can obviously not speak the best German, I guess, and like an Allegri, a Pochettino, that may be where we need to go. But I think Allegri would fit this club perfectly. But I mean, he doesn't seem like he wants the job, and if he doesn't want the job, obviously I don't want him here. So Andreas Villaboa, man, that is a beautiful saying. I don't know if you guys follow Liga, but Marseille right now has got the best points per game percentage. If they win their next game, they top League One. Andreas Villaboa is doing some wonders there. So I mean, I would potentially love to see him. But again, the Portuguese, the difference of language barrier, it really narrows down our select few candidates, which is why Marco Rose is heavy favorites for us. Intern solution could be Sammer. And yeah, I think Sammer's a little bit more realistic. And he managed, a lot of you guys forget this, but he actually managed Borussia Dortmund for 4 seasons and did some amazing things. Obviously, I was too young to remember that, but it was from 2000 to 2004, Sammer was there. So he would be a fun one to bring back. He managed this club for 4 seasons and brought a lot of success to the club. Hasn't managed, I don't believe, though, since I want to say the early-ish 2000s after that stint. So I don't know how he would be with obviously the way that the game's adapted, but he'd be a fun one nonetheless. But I kind of like Terzić a little bit more right now for an interim basis. Don't come on a BBB stream trashing us. If Favre's fault, bro. Y'all gone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're talking to yeah. Is this an early Christmas present, Lele? Well, I mean, you guys know I've been rocking the Christmas get up. So, I mean, maybe. Yes. Haha. Dortmund always been trash. Dortmund is the Spurs of Germany. Oh, we got some hate in here. We're going to ignore that. But they've not always been trash, my friend. We have had we're the second most successful team to Bayern. So Rose would be a good one, but we should let him stay in Gladbach. We have already had two great coaches. Yeah, we like to take a lot of players and managers from Gladbach. So, that is one of the things. Agreed, pain, but with all we need with Dortmund is fans to change both their tone and negative attitudes in a proper punishment. Easier said than done. We have a very interesting fan base here, and we get very angry very quickly. But it is well said, Catalina. Bro, stop. We are Barca fans. We don't disrespect BBB like that, bro. We love some BBB. All right, my friend, you're welcome to the channel any single time. I hope you join, and I'm glad that you have a little bit of love between the two clubs. I think it's a cool connection. The fact that I seen them both play live, Camp Nou, and was pretty special to me too as well. So you are welcome here. Y'all are 10th in the Liga. The fight continues. I'll just roll over these. Terzić and Mazan are only going to serve on our intern coaches, but they do not want the job. Catalina, so let me know how you know that, because I haven't read any of those reports, but I mean, I could believe it. That's what the point of an intern job is, to come in and knowing that you're not going to take it on. But for some reason, I don't know, just in the back of my mind, and maybe it is, maybe I just want them to know that, like, if we go on a roll here and turn this around and who knows, win something big this season, I kind of want Terzić to stick on. I mean, he's young, he's 38. And he just obviously did something good with us, but yeah, but we don't get trash. Okay, we're going to roll over those. Yeah, but let's be friendly. I thought BBB will not separate him before the end of the season, so I'm impressed and very positive. Yes, I didn't think they would either. I really didn't think that they would make the decision just because of the financials and implications. They got to pay him some money, but they went for it. I mean, a 5-1 home loss to Stuttgart, doesn't matter really what's happening. That is a red flag. And considering our performances this season, it's not surprising. Yeah, but I really want to see Dortmund play in the 6th knockout. He had to go. Our results and performances have been very poor in the past few months. It needed to happen. Well said. I agree. Barca lost 8-2 to Bayern. Be serious. It was embarrassing. Okay. Dortmund's style is not defensive and has never been. And that was the whole reason I was kind of preaching for Allegri, just to switch it up, to bring something new. I don't know exactly what would happen if we brought Allegri in. I just think it would have been a fun experiment. But let's see what Terzić can do. You never know what these young managers can do. I mean, look at Nagelsmann. Early 30s when he took on an opportunity in Hoffenheim and now Leipzig. Same as Hansi Flick. He's relatively young. And it's because these young managers are going through the youth. They're seeing how the game is changing. They're adapting to it. And you're seeing the success and taking on a big club. So as an intern basis, it always bugs me because I always end up falling for some of the managers that come into Dortmund on an intern basis and knowing that they're going to be gone, which is why I don't like it. But yeah, I mean, he's a wild card right now, and I'm excited to see what happens here. Okay, we're going to roll on from that comment. Yes. You never know. Holland will destroy the champions. Yeah, Holland will be back with Champions League, which would be nice. Dortmund need to preserve their identity in offensive pressing style football, and Allegri is not the right man for that. Yeah, but that's the point. Is the point of my reason, and I'm not saying Allegri is the right man, but the point is I'm sick of watching a poor defense. And Allegri's won everything there is to win, and he can get fun flowing attacking football well, but it leads from the back. It leads from a solid defense, which is why I thought it'd be something different. But yes, the board may not want to change our identity. Our identity is exactly as you described it, and it is offensive. It's hard for me as a fan watching our defense just get shit on from time to time, and it's hard to see. But that is an excellent point, and that's why I personally think Rose will be the most realistic option for the reason you just said, the fact that he's German. the fact that he's at Gladbach. Apparently we can easily take him. So it is what it is. Holland is not a factor. We're going to, again, roll over that. Lewandowski, okay. Back to the roots, what made us successful in the first place. Well, if we want to go back to the roots, man, we wait till Klopp leaves Liverpool and we give him an empty paycheck and say, what do you want? Come here. I lost interest in Favre's tactics. I did too. That's well said. It was so exciting the first season he was there, even the second season with the change to the wing backs. But this season, it's been all over the place, and it shows. You come out of the gate in the start of the game, and you are not into the game, and it's just painful to watch. I just didn't know what happened. Agree, because Barca is now Johan Cruyff's compatriot, Ronald Koeman, as I do not want. He unveiled his evil plans. Yeah. Okay, hey Josh, can I be a moderator? Ooh, I'm active 24/7. I can delete comments that are rude to the BBB community, mean comments, swearing. I'll look into that. I saw that George was adding moderators in. So Pain Army, I'll reach back out to you on Instagram, and I'll look into potentially getting moderators and doing some of the stuff like that, because yeah, George was doing some of the stuff like that, and I mean, it would make it easier. I can just look at the comments on the screen instead of scrolling through some of them. So that's a great idea. So if you guys want to be moderators, just put in a comment on here and I will look into it. But Pain Army, I mean, we talk on the daily, so I'll definitely reach out to you there, because that's a good idea. Jordan Hunt's here. Who will be the next Dortmund official manager for the 2021 season? If you're twisting my arm right now, I'm going to say Marco Rose. But Jesse Marsch, a very, very solid second, just because I think the language barrier was clearly too much for them to approach Poch and Allegri. So that's why I'm thinking probably will be Rose. It hasn't been the results, but even the way that we've won the past few months or so, it's been very poor and unsurprising and uninspiring. Yes, that is very, very true. That's what I was talking about. Like the Zenit game. Zenit had nothing to play for. Absolutely nothing. We barely beat them in an ugly game. Wait, why did he get sacked? Well, we lost 5-1 at home to Stuttgart on top of very, very poor performances pretty much year-round this season. It's just not been up to par. And it's not a surprise to anyone in the fan base, as well as the fans have turned on him already relatively quickly. Bayern Munich will win the league once again. Well, I mean, we got Leverkusen and Leipzig at least giving them a run for their money. Any luck voting on my poll for Dortmund's next coach on Twitter? You should vote and find out. I will check that out, Catalina, when I go on Twitter after the stream here. No, Bayern Munich will win the treble. No. I believe we can still win the treble. Dan, I like you're very positive, and I mean, you never know. The Hansi Flick little aura may come in on Terzić here, and we can see what we can do. But Steve's very excited about it. Terzić coached one game against Hoffenheim when Favre was sick. Tim Gaming, thank you for that little tidbit of information. I actually did not know that. I kind of remember that, but for some reason, Terzić didn't remember that was exactly him. But yes, I do kind of remember when Favre was sick last season. And that makes sense. LOL, Dortmund winning a treble is only on your delusion. Okay. These comments. Come on, guys. Bayern can do it, so can we. I like the positivity. Barca winning anything is in your dreams, kiddo. I feel you, Dan, but word has it, I'm still hearing rumors of Erling's old friend, Dominic, joining him. If you're talking about Szoboszlai, Catalina, I believe Szoboszlai has an agreement to go to RB Leipzig. Bay. Barca won't win anything. Okay, Since Favre got sacked, he has won. We have every single chance, bro. Okay, we're going to roll past those. I honestly thought they were going to go for Enrico, but Terzić does make more sense. Yeah, and I think the main reason they didn't go for Enrico is because he is doing such wonderful things in the second team. They've been a lot of fun to watch, and I don't think they want to break his stride. I think that they wanted to go with someone who is already with the team. He doesn't have a clear role now that Favre's gone, and just kind of make a little bit more sense for Terzić to take it on than Enrico, because I think Enrico still has a job to do for our second team, and obviously hopefully win them promotion up to the third division. So I like that. I think Enrico is definitely one for the future, and it would not surprise me if he manages us down the line. But right now, I think for an intern basis, Terzić is the right man. I think he'll stay. Yeah, potentially. Just remember, Dortmund will get Holland back in the new year, and that will help. Adam, 100%. We desperately miss him. Very excited to see this Werder Bremen game. I love watching a manager's first game in charge. I do, because the team usually has some kind of reaction. Plus, we get some new tactics. We get to see some of the stuff that we could potentially look to see. And I don't know what kind of formation that we're going to get going from him. So I'm thinking a 4-2-3-1. We get it. You don't like Dortmund. Don't be that guy to trash because you're bored and have nothing better to do on a Sunday. Well said. Haaland stays as Dortmund striker no matter what or who the enemy is. He will destroy all who hate him, especially the Bavarians. At least we're not as bad as Schalke. We're going to turn this around, guys. We have too much talent on this squad to struggle. We may not win the league because, I mean, a 6-1-4 is a pretty poor start for Borussia Dortmund standards. But I feel like I just got an injective energy, and I don't know an awful lot about Edin Terzić. Just the fact that he's been around the club, he speaks German, he's Croatian, he's got experience around the globe. So I'm excited for it. I'm happy he's out. I am too, and I do have a soft spot in my heart for Favre, but his time was to go. We need to win this year if we want Haaland to stay. Very true. We need to win something, 100%. Schalke is the worst team in the Bundesliga, by far. Do you, Dortmund fans, want Schalke to get relegated, which they probably do? I personally don't. I don't want to see them get relegated just because I love the derby with them. I look forward to it every year, and it's just a sad sight to see. And I believe that if Schalke goes down, they'll be stuck in the second division for years. So, but I'd like to see them finish crappy, like 15th, but I don't want to see them go down. I love the fact they got promoted. I love the fact they promoted the youth coaches to assistant coaches. We really need to start doing that in the best of our youth players. Mark, well said. And that is one of the things I like seeing here. Like, you guys look on screen, like, look at the experience that this guy has. He was a scout for the team, then assistant manager for our U19s, our second team, our U7 teams, and he managed the U16s before going on and being an assistant manager for Besiktas as well as West Ham, and then coming back and obviously being assistant manager here at Dortmund. A crazy amount of experience, and it kind of makes sense for an intern basis. Are y'all going to wait for one more season to compete for the league? We'll see. We might have that Hansi Flick little aura coming on here. Our new manager has no big experience. Yes, but that is because he's an intern manager, and it makes sense that it's going to be him, just because if we're not going for Pochettino and Allegri, it means that we're waiting for Jesse Marsch or Marco Rose, which means we need an intern manager, and he kind of fits the bill. So we'll see what he can do. But this is breaking news. It may come out and we sign Pochettino and we're all shocked. So I don't really know. Greetings from France. Greetings, my friend. Hi, Josh. Greetings from England. Just got here. What do you think who do you think Dortmund are going to get? If I'm being totally honest, from my opinion, I think we're going to have Edin Terzić see out the season on an intern basis. And then, in my opinion, Marco Rose will be our #1 target for the start of next season, followed by Jesse Marsch. But again, this is fresh information, because if they don't sign Allegri and they don't sign Pochettino, I don't think they're going to. Dortmund love Canada and France. Yes, they do, my friend. Yes, they do. When we talk about our new trainer, we shouldn't forget we have to pay him. That is excellent. You were on point today. You were absolutely on point today, and that's another thing with an intern manager. We still have to pay out Lucien Favre for the rest of his contract, which means, A, we're paying him for doing nothing, and we need to replace him. So Terzić, absolutely. Like, money-wise, and that's probably the #1 reason that what I just said will probably happen, that he will see out the rest of the season on a cheap deal. Favre's contract will be over, and then we will look to bring in a manager like Rose or Jesse Marsch. So, Sancho Oflo, well said. I hope they replicate Bayern. Oh, baby, do I ever. Why was Favre failing? I can't narrow it down to the #1 reason why he was failing. He wasn't defensively strong at the back. Switching back and forth from the 4-2-3-1 and the 3-4-3 was a big issue. On top of the fact that we looked toothless a lot of the times this season. We didn't find another striker, which is, I mean, yes, Mkuku's 16, but we needed a backup striker. I reiterated that so many times, as well as another defender. We didn't get either one, and those, in my opinion, were just huge issues. We just came in with no energy and no winning kind of mentality into these games, and just pure talent's the reason we've won a lot of them this season. But yeah, I don't know. It's been ugly. I hope we can recover some of the pressing and fighting spirit. Well said, because that has been gone out of our game this season, 100%. I don't like comparing Terzić to Flick already. Jose, that's well said as well. He's just coming in and doesn't need that pressure. We need to wait and hope for the best. Yes, that is very. We should not compare him to Flick. We shouldn't. because we haven't really seen what Terzić's going to bring to the table, and what Flick did was incredible and sometimes probably unimaginable. But we're Dortmund fans. We're getting hyped up. We're getting excited, and we're hoping he can replicate that kind of form. But I don't want to put the pressure on him where he's expected to win the treble, because he's not. He's expected more than likely to compete well in the Champions League and the Cup and solidify a top 4 spot. Should be his goals for the rest of the season. Shadow 12's pumped. Dortmund will never be Bayern. Roll over that. Poch. I wouldn't mind Poch, but I don't think that's going to happen. Chan is so... Yeah. I'm assuming you're talking about Emery Chan. Ralph is my dream. Yeah, but I don't see Ralph coming back. But he would be a decent manager. I think he's doing some good stuff over at Southampton. Not our sworn enemy, FC Bayern. Lord Erling will destroy every single one of them in a swarm of the Polish traitor. We're wishing Dortmund fans good, but still hating us, bruh. WTF. Yeah, our little rivalry. Pochettino will be exciting because of the UEFA Champions League semifinals with Spurs. I would like to see Poch, man, but I don't see it. But yeah, hashtag 1K. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe. We are dangerously close to 1,000 subscribers. I want to get 1,000 so I can get that community board, so I can communicate with you guys every single day. We can do polls. We can do all those fun things. So if you are new to the stream, please sure to subscribe and obviously drop a like, because this is breaking news and we now have a new manager. So exciting. Wasn't Favre at Gladbach for some time, by the way? Yes, he was. He took over a Gladbach team that was almost relegated and brought them up to Champions League contenders. So he did some good things at Gladbach. He would actually manage Marco Reus in Gladbach. So Reus and Favre had a great relationship when he came into the club. Yeah, I mean, and my point with Enrico Breakfast Clubber was that I just think he's doing some great things at our second team right now, and I don't think that the board really wants to rattle that right now. I think that he's still growing as a manager, and I think they really see him as one for the future. And he's still got a job to do with our second team, which is why Terzić, as now the blank assistant manager for Borussia Dortmund, makes a little bit more sense. That's just my personal opinion. And hello, by the way. Why Pochettino? Pochettino's tactics cannot fit with our beautiful club's tradition, enjoying football, the beautiful game. Yes, tradition has been mentioned a lot here, which is why Allegri more than likely won't come. But I'm kind of sick of the way that we've been playing over the few seasons. I want to win. I want to win something. That is what we want. We want to compete year in, year out. Maybe switching things up can be different. And I think Pochettino kind of suits our traditions, if I'm being completely honest, with the way he plays football. Pochettino plays enjoyable football, attacking, free-flowing, and I think his tactics would fit, but the language barrier is the biggest reason for him. Thanks, Beast. Thanks. I hope we won't rob a manager of another club. You're an honorable man, my friend, but more than likely, I think that we will. If I'm being completely honest, I think it's going to be Jesse Marsch or Marco Rose, which means the easier one to get would be Marsch. Rose would be kind of a stab to Gladbach, but Marco Rose could be an interesting one. You should go for Poch immediately. You can get the transfers he wanted in January and settle in quickly. The sooner the better. The language barrier is the reason I'm hearing that Pochettino will not probably come in, which makes a lot of sense. We're looking for a German manager. Man, there's a lot of comments. I'm sorry, I'm slacking here, but Favre did not know what to do after Haaland got injured. Well said. Our strikers have been very, very weak since obviously he left. I don't want the next Flick. I want the next Terzić. Well said. Well said. Pochettino is definitely the dream choice, but obviously very, very hard to get. And again, well said. We'd only be favorites with Haaland. We can beat an average Bundesliga club without him. Yeah, without Haaland, it's been very painful. We need someone to be able to step up and replicate him. Terzić is just Terzić. No one to compare him with to Hansi, but word has it, I hope that Champions League round of 16 can tell me who our opponent is. Well said. I think our passing was trash last game. It absolutely was. The defense and maybe more players, and we can score and create chances. Yep, I agree with Catalina. I think Favre was just too dependent on individuals like Haaland and Reus right now, like Reus in the 18-19 season. Again, well said. He just couldn't get his tactics figured out. He was jumping from system to system, and it just wasn't working. We need Wilfred Bonny. No. I don't want Ole. And we are doing really bad in the UEFA Champions League, though. And we're not doing bad in the Champions League. We topped our group, and we hopefully will get a kind draw. Wonders of League One, but shit in Champions League. Let's get Pochettino. I don't think we will, but no thanks, man. We can keep Ole. Yeah. Dortmund defense was good at the beginning of the season. They were when they switched to the back three and then the back and then into the back four. We played great and had those 4 clean sheets in a row. We don't know what happened to that team. No, we don't need Wilfred Boney. I would not have expected this. Me neither, nerd overload. Me neither. Just bring back Klopp. I know this won't happen. I would do anything to bring back Klopp. I want Stevie G to leave the Rangers after this season, take over Liverpool, and then we get Klopp back. That's my dream. DNA, little man, we going wild. What about Aaron Ten Hag from Ajax? P.S. George is a beast, is the best. Ten Hag could be an option. I would rate that option. I think he would fit our club. I think he's a fun-flowing, attacking manager, and I would not mind seeing him there. But he's got that connection to Bayern, so I think he's in the back of Bayern's pockets right now. Klopp will not return to Dortmund because he's with Liverpool. Also, look at them, and they refuse to give up their real battles. Yeah, I mean, down the line, I don't think he's going to leave Liverpool anytime soon, but I think he's got a lot of love in his heart for Dortmund, but more than likely, it won't happen. Yo, Bayern. How much for Flick? Score some goals for Swansea. Yeah, okay, you guys are all about Wilfred Bonny, but if we're going for free agents, we're going for Mario Mandzukic. At the beginning of the season, they said Favre would stay, but he had to go. He did have to go. Bye-bye. Pochettino, I wish. We concede too many corners. Potentially. Yeah, against Cologne, dreadful defending. We need to figure out the defending first. So let's see what Terzić can do there and hopefully get something going, because we haven't won a game in the Bundesliga in 3 games, which is unacceptable. We have 3 games a week, which is why we have so many injuries. We have a very deep roster, which is why we need to start shaking it up a bit. So I'm very curious to see what Terzić's new best 11 is going to be for us. Wait, did he get sacked? Randy, he did. Lucien Favre did get sacked from the club, and he is out. How do you set up your live streams, by the way? We have different ways of doing it. The one I'm doing it right now is through StreamYard, and the one that we use for our main streams, we have obviously our producer T there, who he's got obviously top end kind of quality, which is why it looks very good. I would love to be a moderator, PBB fan since 2016. All right. Well, I'm going to make a Discord group. I've been meaning to do that for a while now. We'll get some of you guys in there. We'll talk about moderators as well. Maybe once we get to 1,000K, we'll get a moderator in so I can communicate with you guys a little easier on YouTube. So that'll be the goal. And we'll get we got a couple of people interested in being a moderator, which is great. Who would you replace Favre with? I would replace him with Allegri. I've preached that, but just the language barrier and the fact that doesn't look like it's going to happen. I don't know. I'd assume I like Terzić right now and then probably target Rose at the end of the season. So goodbye, Sancho and Haaland. No. I don't think Sancho, maybe, I don't know about Sancho, but Haaland, I don't think is going to leave anytime soon. I think Jaden still wants to rediscover his form, so I don't really have a comment on there. I don't think they're going to leave. Dortmund will win. Chat is surprisingly toxic today. Yeah, we had an angry Barca fan somewhere in here. Chat was getting a little heated. Dortmund is a feeder club. If you want to win something, you have to keep your best players. As he's got a picture of Lewandowski, just a slap to my face. But Brad, I wouldn't say they're a feeder club by any stretch of the imagination. I think that Bayern was snaky in the way that they got Götze and obviously got Lewandowski for free. Nothing really we could do about it with a release clause and a player leaving for free. We've been good at keeping our best players in the last few seasons, so hopefully we can actually get something from it. It's a sad day. First team more important. I hope Rose will follow him in the summer. I think he will, Peter. I think he will be our man to come in the summertime. The Barca's fans should be worried about his team. Very well said. The Dortmund philosophy needs to change. Randy, it could, and that's why I was preaching for Allegri, but I just want to find some type of winning formula here, and I don't know exactly what it is. Super news today, 100%. I think we'll have a back four. I do too. Knowing off of how Slaven Bilic played and the way that Terzić learned from him, I think we'll go in a 4-2-3-1, maybe even a 4-1-4-1. You guys remember when we played in a 4-1-4-1 with Thomas Tuchel? I really enjoyed that formation when we played it, but we had that beautiful Julian Weigl playing as our center defensive mid in it. Sacked this morning. Yes, he was. Can we not fight on the live chat? I swear, if anyone wants to declare war against Dortmund, you have to already start it at the end of Dortmund being humble and proactive winning group. Yeah, let's keep the chat relatively nice today. Come on, guys. It is sad news for Favre, but for the club, it's good news. Schalke may beat Berlin's record. Tamina wasn't even supposed to be in the Bundesliga during that season. I'm not sure, Kevin, about that record, if you want to elaborate a little bit more on it. Absolutely right time for a change. Yes, it is. I think Mukuku is too young to play with the big boys, but he's a good performance. But his performances are awful. He is still developing. He's 16 years old. I think he'll just keep getting better and better. I think we got to be careful, though, and don't stunt his development, which is why I hope he does go down to our second team and get some reps in there. But for going forward, I'm hoping Royce will probably lead the line for us until Holland comes back. And then hopefully we can target Donny Mullen in January. That's what I really want. Terzić has got his own kind of aura because he is a proactive attitude and a role of a man's man, although I think that his tactics should be about Dortmund's glory days. 4-2-3-1 then. 4-2-3-1 is the way that we're looking at it. If I was a Dortmund fan, I would say Rose. And that's what I am saying. Marco Rose for the start of next season after Terzić is here for an interim manager. Good morning, Tyler. Breaking news for your club. Favre got sacked. I like how we all think the same way. It could be anyone, but we use the options first and then find out who they can be as a coach. It could be Terzić leading the glory days. Yeah. And again, I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think for next season, Rose will probably be the favorite. No one will replace Jurgen Klopp. That is true. That is true. We shouldn't want Rose. He has 2 wins in the last 8 games. He's legit a German Favre. I personally want to take a chance on Marsch. Moon, I would take a chance on Marsch as well. If people are asking me my personal opinion, I would go for Allegri. If you're asking between a more realistic one, I would go Jesse Marsch over Rose, but it's the whole German situation. If you look at our managers, it's very hard for us to target other people. And if we're not willing to change and break tradition, then we're going to be going for managers like Rose. I cannot frame Rose for his hard work and his talent at Gladbach, current coach, but luckily he will stay in the foils because they are his only family. I'm a Dortmund fan, but I think if we then I would say Rose. Please get Jesse Marsch. He has everything we need. I mean, yeah, if we put Jesse Marsch in the club, he's got the tradition with and history with Holland, as well as the fact that he's American. And if you guys know anything about the Bundesliga expanding in that big United States market, it's only logical that an American manager takes over a club like Borussia Dortmund. One of the things I most look forward to is a change in tactics and results and mentality. Yes, and that's why I said, guys, please join me for the Werder Bremen game midweek because I am buzzing for it. I am always excited to see any club's first game with a new manager because something changes, something usually clicks, and it's just a bounce back. And I have no idea how Terzić's going to line it up. I'm very excited to do it, but it's going to be interesting to see, and I'm expecting a 4-2-3-1. Really, he's sacked officially? Yes, he is, Jan, 100%. I don't rely on Rose's performances. Even Favre looked good at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Getting Rose would be a huge gamble. Yes, well, that's why I've stated, if you want a born winner and someone who's different and can change his back line, Max Allegri is your man, but the language barrier apparently is too much for our board to look over, which is why it's going to be probably Jesse Marsch because of the American connection, or it's going to be Rose. Favre mistakes were covered up in great individual performances like Sancho, Royce, Holland, etc. Well said, and that's the only reason we got points was really because of Holland this season. Yeah, Rose has been disappointing the last few games. He has. Pochettino, I think, would fit Dortmund, but I don't think it's going to happen. I wish Enrico from the U23s would replace Favre, but it's actually good so because he can continue to train and maybe get promoted this season. Luco, very well said. I believe Enrico will not come up to the main team, the big boys, because he's doing such good things in the U23s right now in our second team, and he's got a job to finish there. They're fighting for promotion to the third division. Getting them up to the third division would be fantastic because it's more competitive. So one of our teams are going back and forth. They can play in a higher division, and he's doing so many good things there. I wouldn't want to break his stride. I think that Terzić for an intern basis is the more realistic one. BD Core is here, and he is shocked. Our defense was good because of the counterattack. Yes, it was. Hakimi and Guerrero led that last season. Ten Hag would be great for Dortmund. And maybe I should touch on Ten Hag a little bit more because I do think he would fit the philosophy of our club. I just don't know if it would actually happen or not. Klopp would leave, and the German national team gets that. Yeah, Ralph, Rangnick, Poch, Allegri, Ten Hag should be the best candidates. BBB needs someone experienced. Rangnick will not come, I don't believe, because he demands too much control. I think Ralph's happy in the Prem. Poch and Allegri, I don't believe want to come, or the board doesn't want them because of their language barrier. Ten Hag's an interesting one. I said this for all you guys who are new to the chat right now. If we didn't sign Poch and Allegri right now, I don't believe we're going to sign them. I believe Terzić will lead out the rest of the season, and then we will target Jesse Marsch or Marco Rose for the start of next season. Maybe even Ten Hag, though. I haven't mentioned him enough. Ten Hag, Marco Rose, and Jesse Marsch are my favorite managers for BBB. I read several articles about it. Yeah, Ten Hag could be, and like I said, I haven't mentioned him enough, but I think Rose and Marsch are still the two heavy favorites. I think they'd be buzzing to get an American manager in here. I wish that Henkes can come out of retirement to turn Dortmund into a title-winning caliber. No, I don't really want Yup. He's too much connection over to Bayern, but he's a winning mentality. Got to give him that. Pochettino will go to Madrid or United. I agree with that 100%. Dortmund should buy Bacca from, or I think you think me Paca, Datsun Paca from Salzburg and Kabak from Schalke. Wouldn't mind either one of those transfers, but I want Donny Mullen. Get Ole, tactical manager, not a chance. BBB fan since December 2020. Yes, Tyler was. He won a bet, and now he's a BBB fan. And now, Tyler, you're going through our first sacking, and it's quite the experience. Are we going to sign anyone in January? For me, Donny Mullen has to be our number one transfer. I don't know how realistic it is because he's doing well at PSV, and they probably don't want to lose him mid-season, but he can play on the wings, and he can play through the middle, which is so huge in moments like this when Holland can't play. A lot of people are saying Solskjaer. Matar says took them long enough to sack him. I think he had 2 decent seasons, and then this season, rightfully so. Yes, he did mean Daka. Patson Daka. BBB fan since October 2015. Love it. Sancho, Royce, Mukuku, Holland, Reina, Hazard will shine again. We need to get them all fit, my friend. We need Rose. I think he's a top candidate. I'm a Bayern Munich fan and would love to see Dortmund back to their best for the league to thrive in Dortmund. SKB, really appreciate the kind words, and I'm glad that you're obviously coming in here with a decent little agenda. We need Dortmund to be back at the best for competition, and they will be. Just it's going to take some time now. We need to find the right manager. Allegri is underrated. He's very adaptable, and you can see how much he can change with tactics. I've told you guys, I've stated a million times. For me, Allegri right now, done deal. But if it's not going to happen now, it's not going to happen. So, but I agree. I would love to see him there. I would like to go for Nagelsmann, but I don't think he's going to leave Leipzig for anyone other than probably Bayern. Exactly. All right, there's still so many comments, but I'm almost getting through it, and we're probably going to wrap this up relatively soon. Yeah, exactly. Just be deep inside my heart. I just like the old times, the great Klopp. Yeah. That's well said. Reps Clubber, yeah, he's one of the few Italian flexible managers. I really rate Allegri, and he should not be out of a job for this long. But I also heard he rejected Dortmund, so maybe that's why we're not going after him again. I think we just need the fans to come in. The talent and the team is beyond what we need to win. It's more a morale thing. Ethan, that's well said. We definitely miss our fans in the in our beautiful stadium, but we got to be able to adapt, and we should still be winning a lot of these games. Yes, he is a solid center back. I'm not sure exactly what kind of center back we will be targeting. TXL says, let's go. Lucas says, I think you have problems with saying some German names. I potentially could have some issues saying some of the German names. I'm not German, Luca, but I am trying to work on it. But, you know, I say it in a very English way. If you watch some of the English commentators, that's where I learned the way I pronounce some of the names, which is quite funny. I'm not the best sometimes at it, but you guys are teaching me. You guys are teaching me throughout it, so it's fine. Marsch actually speaks German, by the way. I did know that, and that's why he could be a good option. And he's obviously had some experience with Leipzig as well. Rose, blind too many times. Marsch speaks German, though. Yep, no, and I just meant for the American branding partnership wise, it's cool that he is American. But yes, he does speak German, which is why he's a legitimate candidate for this job, along with Marco Rose. Man, you still streaming? I am. I'm going to wrap it up soon. Let's see. Lucas says, a promotion from our U23s would be great, and the talents that could play there and learn to the hardness in professional football without the pressure of the Bundesliga and can develop really well. Well said, Luca. I cannot agree with you more. All right, I'm going to slide down. Okay. Sam is back. Dude, yes, I feel that Collins should get a chance at the club. A lot of you guys have been saying that for a long time. And it should be potentially excited. Massan. Say it with me. Enrico Massan. Am I saying it properly as a Canadian? And yeah, and guys, if I ever do screw up with some of my pronunciations, I love that. Just correct me because, again, I learned the pronunciations from watching Canadian, American commentators, English commentators, and a lot of it's pronounced differently. So if I pronounced it wrong, I am very sorry. But hopefully I pronounced it correctly there. Jesse Marsch plays good attacking football. Maybe we finally managed to win a knockout games. All knockout games with Favre have been horrible except for versus Gladbach in the first leg, PSG in the second leg. Yep. And I'm excited to see it. From Edmonton, you from Ontario, my friend, near London, Ontario. Welcome to the chat. But we are going to bring it to an end now. This was a nice, lively conversation. Poch would be awesome, but German is a major block. And it is. So I'm going to wrap it up with this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls who are still watching. My personal opinion right now, and this is a breaking story too, so we'll still be doing updates on it right now. But for me, Edin Terzić, if he is the man to be the interim manager for the rest of the season, I believe that Allegri and Pochettino will not come to the club because the language barrier was too much and we're not targeting them. If Edin Terzić ends up staying for the rest of the season, I believe we're going to target Jesse Marsch or Marco Rose for the fact that they speak German, the fact that they have the connection to the club. I think they're going to like that Rose has got the Bundesliga experience and the fact that Jesse Marsch is American just because it's such a market there and it's just a beautiful little connection. It's the appropriate next step. So that is my opinion. If there is breaking news, we will obviously cover it here. But if we don't get Allegri and if we don't get Pochettino, then that means that we're sticking with Edin Terzić for the rest of the season and targeting Jesse Marsch or Marco Rose at the end of the season. So that is what it is for my opinion. I definitely want to hear you guys' opinion in the chat after this. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, comes the end of this. This was a very unprecedented little morning stream for me. I wasn't expecting it. I hope you guys did enjoy it. You guys had some fantastic comments. I was really enjoying doing this with you guys. So we'll definitely be back with a little bit more. So if you haven't, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.